Manjari Vrinda ki jai. Jai Shri Gopeshwar Mahadeva ki jai. Sarva Bhishta Pradata Giriraj Govardhan ki jai. Jai Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakrajiyo ki jai. Jai Bhakti Vigna Vinashana Shri Nrsingadev ki jai. Bhakta Prabhu Shri Prahlad ki jai. Jai Shri Vishwa Vaishnav Raj Sabha ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Tribhuvana Pavana Harinam Sankirtana ki jai. Tribhuvana Mangala Harinam Prabhu ki jai. Shri Nityananda Mahajana ki jai. Shri Panchatattva ki jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Samagata Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Chiradahi Festival of Raghunath Das Goswami under the guidance of Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai. Pati Chiradahi Festival Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. And it's also today is a appearance day of Sri Bhakti Jivan Acharya Maharaj, not Janardhan Maharaj, just so everybody knows. He's a disciple of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. All right. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Kartals Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Shri Yane Gavinira Boite Hari Hari Boite Yadeva Vendira Vishaya Sadhya Kate Shuddha Vimana Kate Amahe Ramo Shri Vrindavan Vishaya Shadya Kave Shuddha Vimana Kave Hamahe Ramo Shri Vrindavana
Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jataha Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamascha Shri Rupam Sagra Jatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Karoti Vansha Kalpa Turubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyeva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Om Mahabhaya Krishna Prem Namaha Nityanandam Namastubhyam Prema Ananda Pradayane Kalo Kalmashanashaya Janavapataye Namaha Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Tava Gangi He Yavane Bhanu Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vrindai Tulsi Debai Priyai Keshavasya Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavachai Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. First of all, I'm offering my unlimited Dandavat pranams and my Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of my most worshipable, beloved Gurudev Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Ashtatarashata Sri Srila A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada. That I'm offering my same unlimited Dandavat pranams and my Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of my most worshipable, beloved Siksha Gurudevs Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Ashtatarasata Sri Srila Bhakti Vedanta Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj and Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Ashtatarasata Vedanta to all of the Vaishnavas and to all of the Vaishnavis, and especially to Pujapad Bhakti Vedanta Sajjan Maharaj. So, we will continue, but before we continue with our Manasiksha today, we have to read the story of the Chiradahi festival of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami and how that happened. There's two options in reading this. One is to read a shortened version by Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj, and the other is to read from the Chaitanya Charitamrita directly, which is quite lengthy and long. Today, we were at Chandrasekhar Prabhu's apartment and we had a Chiradahi Lasagna festival. That tube light, the long one. The long bulb is called a tube light. No, you're not understanding what I'm saying. Okay. No, that turned on. And the bulb in the bathroom turned off. the bulb, nothing else, not this bulb, only that bulb. There we go. We want the fan on, full, full. The fan is off, turn it on. Simple thing. So that it's on high speed, the turning thing. Different ones. I'm talking about that fan there. Should be turned up. I think Maharaj would also like his fan turned up. Okay. Okay, so Srila Bharati Maharaj, he is telling that today is a special titi, and on this day, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, on the orders of Nityananda Prabhu, he celebrated the Chira Dahi Mahotsav in Panihati. So for those of you who are not familiar with the geographic layout here, in Navadvip and West Bengal. So if you go south from Dvip, you go south along Panihati. And in Panihati also a great Vaishnava devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu named Raghava Pandit. He had his home there, some distance away from the bank of the Ganga. But this festival took place directly on the bank of the Ganga, and at that time there was a very huge banyan tree under which Lord Nityananda Prabhu was sitting with all of his bhaktas. So at that time, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami Maharaj came there to Panihati to try to obtain the mercy and the shelter of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. So we're going to read about how he was received by Lord Nityananda, what instructions Lord Nityananda Prabhu gave him, and how through the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, Raghunath Das Goswami was eventually able to escape from all of the watch guards who were surrounding him all the time, because his parents were very frightened that he would suddenly run away from home and he would go to be with Mahaprabhu. But after he received the mercy of Lord Nityananda, there were no more impediments. So, when Srila Raghunath Das Goswami met with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that was earlier, and that was in Shantipur. When he met with him there in Shantipur, with Mahaprabhu, and he thought, oh, how should I be able to be from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Nilachala? So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, being omniscient, he knew his mind. And so Mahaprabhu at that the verses are quoted here from the Madhya Leela of Chaitanya Charitamrita chapter 16, verses 237, 238, and 239. So this is what Mahaprabhu told Raghunath Das Goswami when Raghunath Das Goswami approached him. So he said, Stira hoya gare jao, na hao batula, krami krami pai lok bhava sindhu kul. He said to Raghunath Das, be patient. Stira hoy. That means be very patient, steady. And just gare jao, go back to your home. Na hao batula, don't be foolish. Krame krame pai lok bhava sindhu kul. What does krame krame mean? Means step by step, sequentially. He said, one can only cross over the material ocean gradually, not suddenly. Gradually. Takes time. So then he said, in the next verse, Mahaprabhu told, Mara Katha Vairagya na koro lok dekaya. Jata jogya vishay munja anasakta hoya. So this means that you should not make yourself a show battle devotee. Show battle. And become a false renunciate. So what does show battle mean? Show battle. Here the Bengali is Nakaro lok dekaya. Don't try to show yourself to the people in a particular way as if that is na. What is a markata vairagya? A false renunciate. So the word markata means a monkey in Bengali. Marakata. What do monkeys do? Well, we have a very great opportunity to observe their behavior in Vrindavan whenever we go there, because they have occupied and taken control of all the rooftops, all over Braj, all over Vrindavan. And they climb down from the rooftops, and as they see people walking by on the streets, what do? They jump on the people, steal their glasses, steal whatever's in their hands, and they climb back up, then they start chewing on them and enticing the people that they should give something to the monkey, and then he will give the object back. Right? So, but not only that, you know, the monkeys, I watched them in all the different seasons in Vrindavan. They just simply tolerate the elements. They tolerate the elements. Do they build nests anywhere? Or do they build any kind of shelter for themselves, the monkeys? Huh? Yes or no? Do monkeys build anything to shelter them? Huh? You don't understand my question?
No.
No what?
Not build.
Not build.
Not build any shelter.
Then where do they stay?
Just on the
Yeah. They just go under a tree. Very hot. They just find a place in the shade. But in the wintertime, where do they stay? Do they move from the rooftops? Yes, their whole family huddles together, their bodies very close together, on the rooftop, like at Rup Sanatan, Gaudiya Mat. They just huddle together and they survive like that. But what do they do all day long? If you watch the monkeys, you see the biggest of the monkeys. They're always jumping up and down, trying to show their strength. And what else do they do? They're having sex with the other female monkeys continually, all day long, from morning till evening, morning till evening. They eat and they have sex, and then they sleep. But, of course, they do the four of them. Forget about the defending, don't forget that. The monkeys have big, huge monkey wars. So, the monkey, outwardly, he's just naked. He doesn't even make a shelter for himself, so they're very renounced. They appear to be very renounced, right? The monkeys. Such big renunciates. But are they actually renounced? They just have lusty desires. They're lusty monkeys all the time. So Mahaprabhu actually used the word monkey. Don't become a monkey renunciate. He told that to Raghunath Das Goswami. Which means what? Don't try to show yourself externally that you're a renunciate. No, go home. Don't make a false show bottle. For the time being, he said, Jata Jogya Vishay Bunja Anasakta Hoya. Anasakta Hoya means without being attached. Anasakta Hoya. And what should you do? Vishay Bunja Jata Jogya. Properly, you should go back home for the time being, and you should enjoy the material world in a befitting way, in a proper way. But do not become attached to it. That's the message. Did you hear that? What Mahaprabhu's message is to Raghunath Das Goswami?
Don't attach to it.
Tell the whole thing. Now, we already told the monkey renunciate thing. Now he's telling him that you should go back home. And you should enjoy This is Mahaprabhu's instruction to Raghunath Das Goswami, and this is Mahaprabhu's instruction to every single devotee who wants to make spiritual advancement, serious spiritual advancement. The spiritual advancement is not going to be made just by making an outward show of renounced. You should, according to your true position, you should act in that way. Try to cultivate inwardly attachment to Krishna, attachment to Vaishnavas. These things you should externally in your position. But to put on sackcloth and act outwardly, want to show everyone, oh, just see, I'm a renunciate. Now I put on saffron cloth. This is false. This is false. Because if you're internally, you again want to enjoy with your senses in the material world, but you've put on saffron cloth, and you're at a certain age, you're past your marriage type age, you're past the age when you should start having children, you're past that in your life. And now you should go towards renunciation. But does it mean that going towards renunciation means trying to show outwardly, see, I have saffron cloth? No. Until you are free from those desires, don't try to artificially show bottle, become a monkey renunciate outwardly. Many have tried, many have failed. Have we not seen, Maharaj, in our life? Numerous, innumerable, uncountable numbers. Now, just a small side discussion about brahmacharya. When our Srila Prabhupada came to the Western countries, were there any brahmacharis? Were there any brahmacharis anywhere in the United States of America? Not one. Not one. Nobody even knew about controlling the sex urge, becoming celibate, going towards Brahma, the supreme absolute truth. No one was a brahmachari. No one knew about that. But when Srila Prabhupada came, then what did he do? He did a radical, extremely radical move. And what did he tell all of his students, his disciples? Once they started to become his disciples, they took initiation. And then what did Prabhupada tell them? There are 4 regulative principles that you must follow. What are the 4 legs of the bull representing? Yes, Maharaj.
Non-violence, truthfulness, compassion, and cleanliness.
Can you flesh that out a bit? What does each one, what do you have to do?
Non-violence means no eating meat.
Yeah, only eating?
Or wearing.
No, it means not killing. If you're eating the meat, that means you're killing. Whether you killed it personally or not, you're killing.
Non-violence.
Non-violence, yes.
Cleanliness.
Cleanliness? What kind of cleanliness?
Internal cleanliness by chanting Hare Krishna. External by taking
But what does it mean, internal cleanliness? What does that mean? In the Western countries, nobody understood what internal cleanliness actually means. The heart becomes cleansed of lust, anger, greed, illusion, and all of that. The heart becomes cleansed, therefore the mind also becomes cleansed. But external cleanliness, taking bath. Yes, taking bath. It's amazing when you study the cultural history of the Western world and the different phases, how people would go for like a whole month without taking a bath. Of course, there are circumstances on the Earth planet where it's the coldest place on Earth, someplace in Greenland. I watched a video, how they live in the wintertime where they're surrounded by ice. But what they do is that they have trees that grow, and during the warmer season they cut down the trees, and they have wood to burn so that they can get heat. And what do they do for bathing? Russian people know what they do. Come on, Russian devotees, answer. What do they do for bathing? It's called banya. You don't know? Have you ever done banya? How many times in your life have you done banya? Uncountable times. And you? Oh, 1,000 times. You? Sauna. Okay, but still, Maharaj, we were deprived, but we had sauna. But if you're living in Southern California, you don't need sauna very often. If you're living up in Badger, a little bit more, you know. So cleanliness. So non-violence, cleanliness, and what are the other 2 legs of the bull? The Dharma.
Also, one should understand by engaging on the sex it destroys cleanliness.
Then we're getting destroys what? Okay, and
Compassion.
yeah. Shanti, which means tolerance. Tolerance, which means austerity. What will that destroy? Cleanliness. Yeah. How your mind and heart can be clean if you're doing one of the most sinful and vile activities. Not possible. So therefore, when Srila Prabhupada came to the West, where there was very people had some degree of principles of staying married and not going outside of marriage like this, to control the sex desire and to have children. But the actual situation for the human being who wants to become perfect is that they fully control the sex urge their whole life, but they do it appropriately. When they're brahmachari, no sex. When they're grihasta, sex. When they're sannyasi, no sex. So 3 of the 4 ashramas, no, no, no. 0, 0. And in household life, regulated with one's wife and husband. For what purpose? To have children. To have children. That's the purpose. That's the purpose that Krishna has created, not just in human beings, but in all the species. Their mating tendencies to reproduce. To reproduce. And the 4 pillars of Dharma. And the 4 activities of sinful life are what? Of me. There are 4 regulated principles.
Poison.
What?
Poison. Drink alcohol.
What? Poison? Poison. No. Cigarettes, BDs, marijuana, all different types of drugs. This is all sinful. The culture was opening up completely to people being constantly intoxicated, constantly having illicit sex, not bathing, and eating meat, fish, eating anything practically. So when Srila Prabhupada came to the West, he introduced, practically for the first time, the 4 regulative principles of spiritual life, which are necessary in order to become what? Human being in a non-animal. Those who follow this are still animals according to the Vedas. If someone cannot follow, no meat eating, no illicit sex, no intoxication, no gambling. Gambling is the 4th one, which is hinging on satyam, truthfulness. So, if they cannot follow, then they're still categorized as animals. Pashu. Pashu means animal. So they're not humans yet. Srila Prabhupada gave the method for people that have human bodies to become human beings. And then he said, chanting 16 rounds of the Maha Mantra every day. This was his prescription. This is the prescription and always will be for all the followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And that's minimal. But that was prescribed by Srila Prabhupada, and then full engagement. 24 hours. On that little list that Prabhupada wrote in his own handwriting. You probably heard the story. That the morning after Prabhupada gave the initiation, had the first initiation ceremonies with his disciples there at 26 2nd Avenue in New York. After he opened up the storefront and after some time, he gave initiation. The next morning, when they woke up, it was posted there on the doorway. We can actually look it up on Google, but it was posted there. What are the duties of those who have taken initiation? And there Prabhupada listed those 4 regulated principles, chanting 16 rounds, and then he gave about 4 or 5 other. Do you remember what they were? No frivolous sports. No frivolous sports. And one must attend morning and evening artik.
Frivolous sports, what means?
What?
Frivolous sports.
Frivolous means just for the sake of playing. Waste. Like in the world, they've made industries out of throwing balls of different sizes. Balls of different sizes. Kicking them. Or hitting the stick. Or hitting them because it's devoid of what? It's devoid of spiritual nectar and bliss. And therefore people have to find their happiness from mundane rasa. What is that rasa? Oh, we won and they lost and how great we are. It's a mundane rasa. That's also there in Goloka Vrindavan, the cowherd boys. They fight with one another, they wrestle, and they win, and they broadcast. So that's a rasa in the spiritual world. But in the material world, it's a perverted rasa. Even surfing on the water. I'm reading that right now in Govinda Dasi's memoirs. How Srila Prabhupada, for the first time, he saw people that were surfing. And he said, well, what are these people doing? This is in New Jersey, actually. In New Jersey. Because he became sick and then they found a place first in New Jersey, not in San Francisco area. It was the summertime. And Hawaii? No. He saw them. You know, they were taking, he would go for his walk. They found him right on the ocean. And so people this is called surfing. Surfing? Oh, you mean suffering? No, about surfing. But they're trying to enjoy externally like this in illusion. Anyway, so I was telling all this because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was telling Raghunath Das Goswami not to become a false renunciate, Mara Katha Vairagi, monkey renunciate, but Jata Jota Ananda, go back to your home, suddenly cross over the material ocean. It's not possible. Krame, gradually, step by step, krame pai lok bhava sindukul. Gradually can you go across material. And this is when Raghunath Das Goswami first met Mahaprabhu. And at that time he was trying to leave home, but his wealthy parents were keeping him entrapped there with guards and everything. So, do not make a show of renunciation like a monkey. In other words, it is the nature to exhibit, talked all about, to exhibit renunciation externally and to enjoy inwardly. So therefore, Mahaprabhu is instructing Srila Raghunath Das Goswami just like an ordinary person externally, but without any attachment within. Now, the third and last verse that is quoted here, that Mahaprabhu told Raghunath Das Goswami, he said, Antare nishta karo, bahye lok vyavahar, achirat Krishna tomai karibe udhar. So he said, internally, develop staunch faith in who? In Sri Krishna. internally you should develop this nishta, staunch faith in Krishna. But externally, so if you act like this, Sri Krishna will very quickly deliver you from material existence. Achirat, Krishna tomai koribe udhar. He will deliver you very soon, very quickly. So, after Raghunath Das Goswami heard these instructions from Mahaprabhu, he returned home. Then externally, he gave much attention to the household activities, as Mahaprabhu had instructed. So eventually, his father and his uncle, they became satisfied by his behavior, and then, suspecting that his mind had become steady, they assumed that he was no longer inclined to run away from home. Now, Nityananda Prabhu arrives at Panihati. That is what we're reading today. This Panihati festival, Chiradahi festival. How many of you have been to Panihati? You ever go? Panihati? Huh? You did? Yeah. Hey, you went? You don't know. Okay. Probably not. So, now Raghunath Das Goswami, following the instructions of Mahaprabhu to travel and preach. Who is that? Who was following the instructions of Mahaprabhu to travel and preach? Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu told Nityananda he would go back and he would spend all of his time preaching here in West Bengal. Yes, so Nityananda Prabhu, he came with associate Puri to reside at Raghava Pandit's house in Pali. You can still go there. His house is kept there as a memorial. They have very beautiful pictures. They're relief figures on the wall showing, you know what they're showing there? Do you remember? They're extremely beautifully made, showing how the group of devotees who would walk all the way to Jagannath Puri, in a group, followers of Mahaprabhu, they would carry on their heads different preparations they made for Mahaprabhu, which would last a whole year, and carry on their heads. And this really, they're showing in their, and they list all internally their vision of Mahaprabhu, how they're going to board. So Nityananda Prabhu came there to reside there. And then the news reached to Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. It reached Raghunath Das Goswami as his residence was not far from this place, that Raghava Pandit's house. So, one was on the eastern side and the other was on the western side of the Ganga. Immediately, Srila Goswami, when Raghava Pandit introduced Raghava to Nityananda Prabhu standing at a long distance away, there were hundreds and thousands of people surrounding Nityananda Prabhu there, underneath that. Oh, see there in the distance? Raghunath Das Goswami has come. He's paying his pranams. God, you thief! always tried to stay away at a distant place, but today I have caught you. So Srila Bharati Maharaj says, when a householder catches a thief, what do they do to the thief? What does a householder do when they catch a thief? He becomes very angry and he punishes that thief. So now Nityananda Prabhu said, so now I will punish you. And you will have to take this punishment. What is it? You have to feed all my associates with chipped rice and yogurt. Chiradai. And to purchase and to collect all huge sums. They were not miserly at all when it came to serving in this way. So, when it came to serve, as long as Shri Maharaj brought milk, he had one rule. What was the rule? That he would pay whatever the quoted price was. Whatever the vendor was saying, here's the price, he would not try to bargain at all. That was his rule. Then Nityananda Prabhu saw that a great quantity of products, they had arrived. Yogurt and milk, generally you don't mix them together, do you? No. Generally you don't mix yogurt and milk together in Vedic, methods of cooking and eating and all of that. So, but because there were huge amounts, huge quantities, both had to be well utilized. So, therefore what they did was, they took in each of the earthen pots, they had all different sizes, some huge, gigantic, smaller, all sizes, so that some of the milk became condensed. They did that. Then half of the soaked chipped rice, they soaked chipped rice, the chira, and half of it was mixed with yogurt, sugar, and bananas. And then the other half was mixed with condensed milk and a banana called ampakala. That one? Kala. Ghee, camphor were added, as well as dates and other fruits and sweets. This is called, what's the term used for this type of preparations and feasting? It's called, so everyone was given 2 pots. The festival grew so people. So therefore some stood inside the river to their knees. But there's a will there. They had 2 hands and they had 2 pots in the hands and they're standing in the water. They figured out a way. So, yes. So, when that was going on, he began to laugh in great surprise. And he said to Nityananda, home, having an utsav here? So then Nanda Prabhu replied, you should honor some prasad as well. And I will take the offering at your home in the evening, not now. So then, he can do that. Nityananda Prabhu can make Mahaprabhu acts of people. But could all the people see him? No. We saw, there's like how Nityananda Prabhu and Mahaprabhu, and Nityananda, the presence of Mahaprabhu amongst the devotees of, as any sacrifice, if you want to do a yajna, any sacrifice, it will be considered worthless, that sacrifice, if you don't do certain things. What are those things that you must do? You must have mantras chanted, and there must also be dakshina offered. Mantrahinam adakshina. Dakshina, donations to the Vaishnavas. So now, after feeding the devotees, then Srila wrote how much dakshina should be given to each person. Why? Because if he were to give everyone equally, Oh, then it would constitute a violation of the etiquette. So there is a kirtan Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in Thakur said, Sakale Sarudev, give me the power, the Shakti, to honor all the jivas, all the living entities, according to what? Jata Jata, according to their due. They are due. What kind of level? Of showing the names of all the different associates of Mahaprabhu and categorizing and showing how much exact amount was to be donated to each and every devotee. Now, accordingly, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami offered 2 tolas of gold and 100 gold coins in the hands of Nityananda Prabhu's sevak as dakshin to be distributed among all the assembled devotees as per the list. So how much is a tola, you know? How much is a tola? That's a certain weight. Yeah. Okay. I know, yeah. Tola. That's the term used in Chaitanya Charitamrita. And in addition to that, 100 gold coins. Of dollars. Yeah.
11.7 grams, 1 tola.
11.7. Under Prabhu, Gucci Lobby. Okay, now, at the beginning of our class, Goram Bolite Habe, no one can get out of this samsara. Arakabe Nitai Chander Karuna Hoibe. When His mercy will come, then samsara vasana more. Kabe Tuchaha. My vasanas, this is the problem. The samsara. It's not being, that's not the problem. The problem is vasanas. To be in the from problem. Very soon you will gain release. So, now, in this context, Srila Bharati Maharaj tells something very interesting. Very short explanation of a thing that is an Ayurvedic remedy, which is called Anupan, after Nityananda Prabhu. In court for Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, his guru came, Yadunandan Acharya, Raghunath Das Goswami, to walk into the. When you hear, it's in Chaitanya, here's a prince. That a number of times, and he began running and running and pretty much non-stop. How many days did he reach Puri? By one was it Genovese? Yes, and he rested along the way, and he rested in cow barns, and he rested in different places, and day, no. And he succeeded. And he was weeping and crying in anticipation of meeting Mahaprabhu continually, non-stop, the whole way. He did arrive and saw him. He told, eat fully the next 3 days, fully, and just rest like that. But he blessed Raghunath Das Goswami. And you know what he told him? Krishna has been to you. He told him completely different instructions, but he followed those instructions, and now Mahaprabhu is accepting him, and he's telling him, you are very fortunate because he delivered you from a pit stool, a deep stool. What? What is the pit of stool? Not wealth. No, not wealth. You think wealth is a pit? No, you have to be specific. And being sunk in materialistic household life, trying to enjoy with deep attachment. That's the pit of stool. Did Prahlad Maharaj inform us about that pit? He didn't call it a pit of stool, he called it a what? on the kupam, dark that you fall. Okay? But Maharaj and he said, merciful to you. But can you come out? Are you ready to come out? Oh! Which means what? That you give it up. You give it up. First you have to give it up. How? Internally you have to give it up gradually, gradually, gradually. Then when you're ready, then you can make your escape. Krishna will arrange it directly. So, now, there's a thing called Pan in relation. It was Raghunath Das to Jagannath. Srila Swami had the appropriate of the Vaishnava in order is a liquid that is advised either before or along with or after the intake of an Ayurvedic medicine. Medicine works best only when it is complemented with the recommended. Ayurvedic practitioners Kaviraj on one's taking. Now he tells one of Dhaka. He was with an extreme in which his fire. He tried all allopathic medicines to heal. So he consult Shami because it is very difficult to find the specific anupan. He was very disappointed, the Nawab, and he was returning by the boat in which he had traveled there. So the Nawab was going back. But while he was on the boat, he noticed a poisonous snake drinking rainwater that had collected in a skull, a human skull. Got that? A poisonous snake drinking rainwater that had accumulated in a skull. Yes. So then what? As his companions were asleep, he stepped out to drink the water from the skull, thinking, even if I die by drinking this, it doesn't matter. It is better to die than suffer like this. But soon, he felt some relief from the burning sensation in his body. So he returned to the Kaviraj, who told him, now I can treat you, and you can be cured because you have taken the appropriate anupan. If any poisonous snake drinks rainwater accumulated in the skull of a man who has recently passed away, and if such leftover water is consumed, only then medicine will eventually cured. And he built a 2-storied house for Shyamdas Kaviraj, and he cited how effective his treatment was. And he also instituted a hospital by the name Ashtanga Ayurvedic Hospital. Now, Mahaprabhu's sevaks from Srikanda, they used to administer such treatments. So there is a mention of these Vaidyas in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi 10. It says, Chikitsa koren jare hoya sadoy deha rog bhava rog duitar kshoy. This means, as Murari Gupta was treating his patients, Murari Gupta, one of your favorite places over there, as he was treating his patients, then by his mercy, although he was a Kaviraj, a doctor, by his mercy, when he was treating his patients, both their bodily diseases and their spiritual diseases subsided both. So these Vaidyas are devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they do not take money. Their medicines, they're both free. Now, he tells one more little story. When our Guru Maharaj was a brahmachari, that means Bhakti Dayata Madhav Swami Maharaj, who was named Hayagriva Das Brahmachari. When he was a brahmachari, he once visited one such Vaidya for consultation and for medicine for both himself and for Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhardev Goswami Maharaj. Now, to visit, he told the doctor that he himself was to undergo an operation for a hernia, very common. Now the Vaidya checked his pulse, and he said, "You don't have to undergo right now. There is time. So first try taking my medicine." Now he wrote the prescription, and the medicinal herbs and the roots were brought to the market, and they were boiled in 4 liters of water until the water was reduced to 1 liter. Then the concoction was strained, and milk and sugar, mishri, were added. The Bandari had prepared it, and as Guru Maharaj drank it, little by little he enjoyed the taste. He consumed the whole thing, and then he went to the latrine. Everything was cleared. When Guru Maharaj returned to the doctor reported, "You have no hernia. Only your stools had merely hardened, and they had dried, and they had formed into knots." So, likewise, in the world of Hari Bhakti, treatment is needed. And what is the treatment? It is sadhu seva. Sadhu seva. So it is said in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, 5th chapter, verse 2. You know this verse. Mahad sevam dwaramahur vimuktes tamo dvaram yoshitam sangi sangam mahantaste samachitta prashanta vimanya vasho hridasagavoye. Who spoke this verse? Lord Rishabdev to his canto. He said there, Mahat Sevam, service to the Mahat, Dvaram Ahur Vimuktes. This is the open door to liberation. To serve sadhus is the open door to liberation, but there's the opposite door as well. Tamo Dvaram. Tamo Dvaram means the door that plunges one more and more into what? Tamagun. And what is that door? Yoshitam Sangi Sangam. What does that mean? Do you know? No? Yoshitam. The association of women for what? For material sense gratification. That's called Yoshit. Yoshitam. But, and that for the women, that means men. It's the opposite for the women. That is the Tamodwaram. But there's one more category. Isangam. Not only with the women, but to associate with those who are attached to the women. Like this. So, then he mentions about who are the real Mahatmas. Mahantas, Mahat Sevam, Mahant. Mahantas te samachitta prashanta. One can take the path of liberation from material bondage only by rendering service to highly advanced spiritual personalities. These personalities, here, this is Prabhupada's translation of this verse, they may be impersonalists or also devotees, but they're Mahantas. So whether one wants to merge into the Lord's existence or he desires to associate with the personality of God himself, one should render service to the Mahatmas. And for those who are not interested in such activities, who associate with people fond of women and sex, then the path to hell is wide open. path to hell. Yes, the Mahatmas are, what are their qualities? They're very equipoised. Samachitta. Samachitta means they're very equipoised. And Samachitta Prashanta. Very in another. They are very peaceful and they are fully engaged in devotional service. So they are devoid of anger and they work for everyone. They do not end his presentation, and he says, the door to liberation from material bondage. It can be opened by rendering service to highly advanced spiritual personalities. And what is the door to hell? Yoshitam Sangi Sangam. Means women or those who are too addicted to women. Hell. It is necessary to associate. So again, I'm repeating so that everybody understands this clearly. This Yoshitam Sangi Sangam, it is not in the category of associating with the opposite sex for the service of Krishna. This is not in that category. So associating with either the opposite sex or the same sex for the service of Krishna is equal. But if one is associating with the opposite sex for the purpose of mundane, materialistic sense gratification, then you're on the pathway to hell. And if you're associating surrounded by people that are completely attached to this, you're also on the pathway to hell. So, therefore, there are strict rules in the system that one should be very careful about kind of association. So he says, he quotes more verse before the 3rd canto, 31st chapter. Na tatasya bhaven moho bandaschanya prasangata yoshit sangad yata pungso yata tat sangi sangataha. Man from attachment to any other object in this world, it is not, that bondage is not as complete as that resulting from attachment to a woman or to the fellowship of men who are fond of women. But the material world, people throughout, they don't know this. They're uneducated. They don't realize this. But soon, Mahaprabhu's mercy is coming. So therefore, Srila Bharati Maharaj concludes by saying, yes, today Srila Raghunath Das Goswami the Chiradari Mahotsav. So, we are remembering this. So even to this day, the Chiradari Mahotsav is celebrated in Panihati. And although no one is invited separately, but all the mutts, they all observe this day. And whoever comes to the mutt is offered Mahaprasad. Gaur Premanandi. Srila Nityananda Rama ki jai. Jai Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami Pada ki jai. Shiradahi Mahotsav Festival of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami ki jai. Hani Hati ki jai. Raghava Pandit ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Okay, so we have completed today's class. Our next class is not on Sunday, on Saturday. On Saturday, why? Because Saturday is the big day. Do you know what the big day is on Saturday? On our Vaishnav calendar? The big day? It is Snana Yatra of Lord Jagannath. And 2 disappearance days, Sri Mukunda and Sri Sridhar Pandit, to associate Mahaprabhu. So So we'll just chant one short kirtan and then we'll complete today's fast. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jaya Nitai, Jaya Bol, Jaya Nitai, Jaya Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Jai. Shri Nityananda Mahamahotsav Festival ki jai, Nityananda Prabhu ki jai, Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Om Vrindai Tulsidevai, Vyai Keshavasuja, Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi, Satya Bhajai Namo Namaha, Vansha Kalpatarubhasya, Kripa Sindhu Devacha, Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo